Abby, do you know what day it is?
It's Dessa Day.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. This episode of Bothering the Band is so long in the making. We have wanted Dessa on this podcast since like day one. And it finally happened. We couldn't be more excited. Abby, on a scale from 1 to 10, how excited are you?
15.
Booyah. She's a rapper, a singer, a poet, a writer. She's a Renaissance woman. And we couldn't be more thrilled to have on today's episode of Bothering the Band, the one and only Dessa. Hello.
Hello. I'm so sorry to be so late. Thank you for your patience.
It's okay. Today's a great day. It's Dessa Day.
Hello.
We've been saying it all morning. We're like, whatever. She can get away with murder.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Absolutely.
Welcome to Bothering the Band. My name is Ryan. This is the producer of this podcast, Abigail and Levy, who I strived very hard to get you on for her 40th birthday, which was a few weeks ago. So this is a big deal. You're a big deal.
Happy belated 40th. How was it?
It was great. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Was that haircut part of it? Because it's a banging haircut.
No, I've been rocking this one for a few years.
Ooh, it's solid.
Thank you.
I appreciate the banging pun. I like that. I don't know if you know about the podcast. We've tried to get you on for a long, long time. Since the beginning, you were like one of we made lists and we are just like Dessa was on the list. And so thank you. We asked our favorite musicians really stupid questions. Are you ready?
Born.
Oh, okay. So how are you and where are you?
I am in New York and I'm good. I'm like in the frenetic period between a couple of tours. So my apartment looks like I room with a tornado. But I'm doing well. Yeah.
Oh, very cool. I was just in New York. I love New York. That's where I'm from. And you live there?
I live there. I live here part-time.
Okay. Split your time. Cool. And is the other place your hometown?
Minneapolis, yes.
Yeah. Oh, we know. We've done our research. We have some real dumb questions.
Okay.
Where's your favorite place to wander?
I would say I spent a lot of time walking around in Minneapolis, walking around Lake of the Isles. And there's like a fancy pants empty room right by the Walker Art Center called Sky Pressure. It's made by James Turrell. So it's like an empty room that has a really cool echo. And it has a perfect square cutout at the top. So it frames the night or day sky. It's pretty rad. That would be a solid one. And then in New York, I would say, yeah, like Central Park wards. Towards Central Park. I spent a lot of time getting steps up there.
Nice. Yeah. We brought Abby to New York for the first time in July. Was it July? We had a live show in Brooklyn and we did a lot of walking. And I kept talking shit. I was like, bring your walking shoes. And then I was the one who was like, just murder. Like I hurt so bad. My legs.
What were you wearing? You were like in like new Timbs or something?
No, those would probably be better. Vans.
Yeah. You need to, that's skateboard only. It hurts to walk, right?
I know. It's a funny topic on the pod and then our friendship as well. She hears a lot of us. I just bought my first pair of like old man dad shoes and they're fucking hideous
and awesome. And they're super comfortable.
I was just in New York and my feet are fine. So they do work. They are real ugly looking. They're real bad. No style to them whatsoever.
Wait, so how was the live show in Brooklyn?
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so cool. What's the big deal? What venue were you at?
What was it? Oh, it was called what was it called? Now I can't think of it.
Littlefield.
Okay.
Oh my God, why did that take so long?
Because we're put on the spot. It's all good. So this brings up the next question, and I was gonna bury it, but if the timing works out
Mm.
and we ever did a live show at First Ave, would you be on it?
Maybe, yeah. I'm here more than like New York is even easier. So if you come back to New York, yes, let's do it. And
We will be
First
back.
Ave, let's talk. Will you? Okay. Yeah, I owe you one. I was 17 minutes late. What bad form? Are you coffee? Are you a live podcast? I owe you my firstborn male child.
I don't want that one.
Yeah. that's a hard pass.
I'll take the coffee though.
Okay, fair. Got you. I got you.
Yeah, we'll definitely be back. We had David Cross was on the live one.
So fresh.
And yeah, it was a really great time. And I love New York. And so any excuse I have to go back home, I'm game.
Yeah, rad.
Make it happen. Does anyone in your life call you Maggie?
No.
Oh,
my mother. The woman who gave me life. Yeah, she does.
Is that something you like annoys you if other people call you that?
Yeah, I think a lot of people try it as like a power play, because they read it online and they're trying to be cute, or like if someone wants a photo, right? Or if someone wants to cut the line, they'll yell that. But yeah, I maybe in that way, I think I've gotten kind of negative associations that people are using it for ungenerous reasons very often. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get that. I asked this question because my mom's name was Patricia or Pat, and she fucking hated when people called her Patty, aside from her dad.
Aside from her dad? Oh,
she was like, her dad is the only one that could call her Patty.
Okay, got you. I feel like in some ways, like, okay, I would never ask my family, like, hey, I have this new thing. This is what you have to do. I changed my name legally a long time ago to Dessa, but they're my family. That anything they call me, I am lucky to be called. But I would say, like in the wider world, maybe kids from elementary, like if I crossed paths with them, totally. They would call me Maggie. But in my day-to-day life, I think it's just probably my mom. But she would also maybe call me like Baba or something. You know what I mean? Like just some nonsense mom speak. So
I was going to follow up with that. Do you have any like just random nonsensical nicknames from your childhood? Baba? Let's count it.
Yeah, so Baba was like mommy, just the little things that Latin mothers call their daughters and sons, which correlates to nothing in the real world. And there's like cuchifrito.
Okay.
Fried food. And then sissy from my little brother,
Oh, that's cute. That's adorable.
Yeah. He's one of my favorite people. His name is Maxwell. He sells legal weed in Boston, but every once in a while I still get a sissy text from Max.
Oh, that's lovely. So from someone who also has a Latin family on their side, is anyone in your family called Papo?
No. Are you called Papo?
No. I'm the white guy.
No.
I'm the white guy in the family, but my Puerto Rican cousins, there's like 3 Papos. Like, how do you keep them organized?
Gosh, we're Papo impoverished.
Yeah. I like that. That's the name of a poem. How tall are you?
I am 5'10" and 1/2 inch.
Oh, that's so dope.
Is it?
Yeah, I think that's cool. We ask this question of a lot of our guests, just because it's fascinating. You see people and you think the opposite with like actors. You're like, okay. You meet them. You're like, oh my God, we had a guest, Sean Barna, on our live podcast. And when he walked in the door, it was like, he's so tall. And we just had it blew us away. Also, he's like so good looking. We're like, holy shit.
Okay. Pause for just 1 second. Ready?
I like the sound
Perfect. We're leaving the sound effects in.
Yeah. And also just not asking what just happened. Okay, this is a great question. Why, in your opinion, does so much good music come from Minnesota?
Okay, so I have ideas. I would say none of them I'm totally confident to forward as fact, but I think of the variables that contribute to the Minnesota music scene, one of them, perversely, is that like we don't have that much music industry infrastructure. So it's not like there was an agent from Sony Records like at the back of your concert, you know what I mean? Looking for new talent, or an A&R cat, you know, with a briefcase full of blank contracts. So there was this like DIY culture that developed where, you know, people are learning how to screen print their own. So you're very punk, like learning how to screen print their own stuff, you know, distributing to retailers like in the back of their car, you know, from the back of their cars. So everybody had like a bunch of vinyl in their trunks constantly. You know, I mean, I remember it was like when I was coming up, if you didn't have a sleeve of CDs under your arm at all times, it was like, oh, you ain't hungry. You know what I mean? Like, I'm at the pool or whatever. I mean, you better have your like sleeve of CDs, because that was like almost a symbol, you know, of your professional ambition and dedication to the game. But yeah, I do think that for all the headwind that might have created, it also did create like this really rife kind of like petri dish, you know what I mean, of a flat infrastructure in some ways, where genres are really permeable, because there was, you know, retailers are super sensitive to like, what are you? You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like, no, but where are you from? Like, are you in, you know, are you pop? Are you hip hop? Are you R&B? And there's really a lot of pressure to pick a lane, because retailers have to know where to put stuff on shelves. But as a musician and as a showgoer, I don't think those lanes are as important. I just need to know if you're coming to the show, right? And I'm more interested as like music good than I am like what wave of prog this is. You know, like is it great? Cool. I would like to listen to it. So
That's a perfect answer.
Yeah, that is spot on. And it's one of those places where if you think about it and then start listing so many fucking great musicians all across the board, punk rock, pop music, then you have yourself uncategorizable, and then there's Bob Dylan and Prince, and like it's bananas.
yeah, and I mean, I wonder, to my ear, although I'm partial maybe, or if not partial, I'm at least like, I'm myopically close to the canvas, and that Minneapolis is where I grew up, so I can't compare it to having grown up in other places, you know? But I do think it is like the hard to characterize stuff. Like, I do think we have a special spot. Even like when Prince, you know, first started, like, what is this? Why are the keyboards working? You know, why are the keyboards doing what the strings do? I do think we're good at that. And I think we like cross pollinate a lot, you know? So in Minneapolis, it's not unusual for like a hip hop act and even like a metal act, you know, to share a bill. And then when we started doing that, and then you tour in Chicago, it's like, you better duck. I mean, that's just, it was not literally, it was beer cans flying. Like, it was not well received. So yeah, I think that our willingness to just kind of go where the good music is shaped by the fact that there aren't too many people drawing court lines in the sand.
That's great. And that speaks to our sensibilities, because we're also like these 90s DIY kids. And it's the same with this. When we started this podcast, our first thought was like, let's make stickers and shirts and do our own thing and pass them out and like just get it out there. And we don't go anywhere without like one of us reminding each other. Like, I was just in New York and Abby's like, don't forget to bring stickers.
Yes,
like, cool.
Isn't that funny? Like, as an adult still, that's like on my to-do list, you know, like, don't forget to tag up the bathroom. It's important for your career.
Yes. I just turned 40 as well. And it's like, bring Sharpie in case you're on the subway.
Exactly. Like, I'm 41, same exact thing. 100%. Like, do you have the gold Sharpie though? Like, make sure. Yeah.
She does.
Yes.
I'm classic black.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm laughing because it's like, you know, like the dark album covers, right? Yeah. Where my black Sharpie won't work. I have to make sure to be armed with whatever, metallic. And I often think like, for all the culture and the brands that kind of swirl in the domain of music making, it's like a Sharpie is the lifestyle that I have chosen. Like, if I had to pick one if I had to pick one artifact to explain my life, it would probably be a classic black Sharpie. Maybe a chisel tip if I'm feeling fancy.
Whoa. Getting all technical and shit.
I'm all about the fine point.
Are you? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
There's a desk in front of me and there's 3 Sharpies. And
Oh God. I would say that, okay, so I'm right now seated in a swivel chair that I found on the street in a 1-bedroom apartment in New York. I would say that within a 10-foot radius of me, I think there must be 12 to 24 Sharpies. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. And then I just look this way and there's a Ninja Turtle and a box of silver Sharpies over here and a skateboard hanging on the wall. So, 40-year-old man, classic.
Yep, totally.
Real mature. What's the last poetry you read? We're big fans of poetry. So, yeah, we love your poetry.
Let's see. The book that I have right on the other side of this computer is a FSG collection. Let's see. So the last stuff I read though that I liked, Alan Dugan, who I admit I'm kind of new to. Like I haven't read all of his stuff, but the stuff that I read was like, yo, who's this guy? And I have a friend back at home, back in Minneapolis, named Eric Lorber, who is the editor of Rain Taxi, indie, progressive, just like diehard DIY literary Oregon. So he's the guy when I, find something new that I'm like, hey, what is this? Because I think very often, I don't have very, not super carefully curated tastes. I stumble a lot. You know what I mean? Like, this is rad. Are they famous? Dunno. That kind of thing. And so I hit him up to try to figure out, how does this fit in the canon? Or, to play the, Spotify game with a person. He's like, if you like Alan Dugan, you should try Sapphire Stone. But yeah, he was one that I read recently that I really dig. What about you guys? What are you reading?
Very cool. Abby, what are you reading?
I was recently rereading some John Cooper Clarke. He's probably one of my favorites. So I picked up 10 Years in an Open Neck Shirt.
Okay,
a couple days ago, I was reading through that. John Cooper Clarke.
10 Years in an Open Neck Shirt, right?
Yes, which is kind of a hard to come by book. You might have better luck getting it online because he's 40 or 50 years old. He's a British, they call him the punk rock poet.
I like the title a lot.
Yeah.
Solid title.
My favorite in that one is Al Capone. That's a great poem. You should look that one up.
Okay, dope. I will.
Nice. Good call. I just went to Strand. It's my favorite bookstore. I brought Abby to Strand in July. And I got a old Frank O'Hara book, Lunch Poems. Do you know this? Yeah, he's a guy I steal from them a lot. So,
ooh, interesting. Yeah. In what way? Like as a writer or as a conversationalist dropping his lines, or
as a poet? I think all artists are thieves or emulating, what we love. And I think you can embrace it too. I'll be the first to tell you, I steal from my heroes the most. And he had this way of writing where it seemed very structured, but it wasn't at all. There was no rules. And that was his whole theory. And then he stopped giving names to poems too. He just call it poem. And I like that because it's his argument. It was the name doesn't matter. What's in it? It's kind of back to what we were saying about music. The genre doesn't matter. Do you like it?
I end up taking the opposite, and maybe wrongly, but the opposite view on titles because it's so difficult to avoid, and meaning it's so difficult to meet a poem that is untitled, whereas you can meet a song without its genre designation. Does that make sense? So then you get poem sonnet number 72 is the de facto title, and it feels sort of when an artist asks for their name to be stylized with lowercase letters, it's still a gesture. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's hard to get rid of that. Yeah. Or a symbol, right? The artist formerly known as Prince, because we can't appropriately honor the artistic ask. So we end up cramming it in this kind of awkward neck bending way, which is how I feel sometimes about the titleless poems, because they always end up as, untitled poem 7 or whatever.
Yeah. I think in his, what he's trying to convey is sometimes you write this great poem and then you're trying to shoehorn in this title, and he's like, fuck it, that doesn't. I'm moving on,
Yeah, that's legit.
But I hear you with and we've had quite a few people on here who've, the name of their artist name has something different about it, like a period or like you
Yeah.
said, lowercase. And not one of them has said that they're happy with that decision. Unfortunately.
Totally. Yeah. And it's also, I mean, you choose things at one point in your life, right? And then you live. I mean, I used to be Dessa Darling, is my moniker, which it didn't, I mean, then I think I was just sort of like pleased by the kind of cheap sugar of the alliteration, right? But it sounds pretty porny, and I hadn't really clocked that. Do you know what I mean? It just sounds like a little too neat. So yeah, and then you try to revise history and and change your moniker as you go. But yeah.
I'm still living down my first Gmail because if you think about it, Gmail came out when I was finishing college in like 2004, and what I was into then is real dumb. That Ryan was,
different. Yes.
different. He thought he was the coolest guy ever, but different. So I still trying to get rid of that email. This is my favorite question. I've been sitting on this for months and months and months. Abby, are you ready for this question?
Never.
Okay. From 1 to 15, what number is Abby thinking of right now?
9.
Nope.
No.
Yeah. Do I keep going? No. Okay.
What was it? Just out of curiosity.
7.
7.
Yeah. Of course it's 7.
It's always 7 and 3. That's what they say, right? But gosh, I don't know. I thought maybe it was a trick.
I would have gone 6.
Would you? Okay, that is not always 7.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Are you better alone or in a group?
In what capacity?
That's
like,
up
am
to
I
you
am
to
I
define.
happiest or?
You can say happiest, more vibrant, whatever you want to say. There are no rules.
Okay, I would say that I think at this point in my life, it is I'm moving on that spectrum. I think I've spent so much time alone that I do pretty well with that now. So I would say I probably am better for a good chunk of the day alone, but if I'm not with people for part of it, then I start to tank. So like if I had to choose one or the other for my whole life, I should probably choose in a group because I'll die if I'm never in a group. But how many hours of the day do I allocate to each? I would say I am alone more than I am with people.
I think that happens as we get older, and also the state of the world. And
yeah, exactly. I don't know if you were around for 2021 and 2020.
We won't talk about it because we have a
yeah, exactly, because it's tired. But
no current events, no politics, and no BS on this podcast. But
no
we get you.
Yeah.
So. However, we were both just saying, Abby just recently now lives alone. And then I am when I'm not with my daughter, I'm like always alone. And I was just in New York with my buddies, and I was like, oh, I was reminded how funny I can be. I was like, man, this is pretty fun. I'm not talking to an 8-year-old.
Well, that's a great social win. I mean, that's better as opposed to like being reminded how much panic attacking you can do in an hour or something like that.
Very true.
Win. Yeah.
Very true. So we feel, Abby, what you got?
I can do a lot of panic attacking in an hour.
Has anyone
ever
just
challenge, doesn't it, guys? Radio listeners, audience out there. Yeah, Abby and Dessa face off.
Here we go.
Sounds like I need to check my email and get real panicky. So, has anyone ever described, or does anyone describe you as intimidating?
Once in a great while, yeah. Once in a while.
Your voice went up.
Did it? Okay. I would say, okay, so the honest answer, I would say that, so I'm single, and, since people are moving out through the world again, I have gotten starting to date again, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm starting to date again. And every once in a while, if a guy who I'm on a date with might use that term, I can't tell to the extent that it's sort of like, it's supposed to be a compliment. So I don't know if he like means it like literally or intimidating. It's like, you're cool. You know what I mean? And it's kind of being leveraged as a more playfully than it might be in other contexts. So that's the honest answer. Every once in a while, a guy will say it and I don't know how serious to take it.
Well, let's let you two answer. If a man is like, wow, you're intimidating, is that Like, how would you just first thought? How are you taking that?
Well, if he says it like that, wow, you're intimidating. I was like, let's get you a snuggly blanket. Like you seem like you're in a world of distress that's unrelated to me. But if it comes in conversation after a drink or something, it's like, dude, I'm really stoked to be out with you. You're kind of I would say it's very tonally dependent. If it seemed like he was actually afraid of me, then I was like, sweet, let's snag the check and get you to someplace less intimidating, a better company that's more suited to your tastes.
I can't speak for all men, but it is. I'm saying it from a good point of view. Same with Abby. She's very opinionated. She's very strong-willed, and in your crosser, she'll cut your face off.
Those are intense words, though, like opinionated and strong-willed. I mean, and I say that only because sometimes, like when there's connotations that attach to words that are distinct from the denotations. Like opinionated, I think is rad to be, but it's sort of like the way that it's been used. It can sometimes drag along with it some unintended shades of meaning that aren't always quite as.
What I'm getting at is all the boys who are dating boys. All the boys who are going on dates with you guys better watch out.
But what do you think, Abby? What do you think about a word like that? Like I'm not like my hackles don't rise, but I also think it's being leveraged flirtatiously in all likelihood.
Yeah, I would agree with that. In that situation, it depends. I was on the phone with somebody through work recently that called me intimidating.
Was it hold on, was it a legit moment of conflict?
It was.
Holy
wow.
Wow.
On a date, if somebody says that, I don't know, I think I'd play with it a little bit.
Yeah. And I would say too, and I've been called on it, and I don't know if I agree with the call, but I have found, people intimidating for sure. And that's also, I think, just part of like our social sensitivities, like irrespective of how we actually maneuver through the world and the things we decide to say, there is just sort of like some sort of knee-jerk immediate reactions that we can decide to like act on or set aside as we choose our course of conduct. But the conductor for the Minnesota Orchestra, the first time I met her, it was just like she was dressing it sounded like she was dressing somebody down in Japanese, and then she was doing push-ups side stage, I found that to be an intimidating. That doesn't mean she's mean. That doesn't mean she's not soft and awesome. But I was just like, Jesus, Sarah, ma'am, like a very intimidated moment, Get it? Yeah, totally. And she does. She has also. She is like She has epic bangs, as does Abby. You were right when I logged on. I was like, ooh, laser beam bangs. I love them. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think I've had these most of my life, honestly.
Have you? Do all of your listeners know what they look like?
I mean, I guess if they went to our website, they could see them. And
so hold on. Why don't I just take over here, right? So they're the sort of bangs that are like perfectly gloss waterfall to below the brow line, which is a big deal. That's a big decision. So they fall right below the arch of the eyebrow and in between the lash line. And it's just like, a perfect gloss panel. Do you flat iron them?
I do.
Yeah, it's a solid.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Mm-hmm. I can't stop.
I'm gonna cut my bangs today. I've decided. I am.
Send photos.
I will.
I love it.
I'll let you guys keep going.
No. We've covered that.
This next question is there's no chance of segue here. So just roll with it. Welcome to Bothering the Band. Brushing your teeth or wiping your butt. You can only do one for the rest of your life.
I can't answer. Sorry, I am like so weird on bodily stuff. This is just the one and only question that I'll say pass on. You can ask me my social security number and I'll tell you.
That's great. That
is an answer.
It is an answer. And we appreciate it. And we're moving on. By the way, Intimidating Bangs over here wrote that question.
I did not. I specifically said don't ask that question.
Did you? Wait.
Yes, she did. She did.
I did.
She drives the ship. She drives the boat.
You write the boat.
Questions.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So here we go. Perfect. Shrimp scampi or shrimp fried rice?
Ooh. God, I have an embarrassing admission. I can't remember. Is scampi, I mean, I know it from the Red Lobster menu of days of yore, but like, is scampi the kind that's always in pasta? Or can you get scampi outside of pasta?
Scampi's like a buttery pasta.
Right, with the white sauce. Okay. And what was the second one? Sorry.
Shrimp fried rice.
Oh, kind of right on the line. Let's do fried rice. God, I regret it both ways. It's a good question because it's the pain threshold. The seesaw is almost completely level. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you know why we asked that question?
No.
Because you have a song called Shrimp.
Oh, do you know what was so funny? While you were, I am such a moron. So while you were like, do you know why? And I was like, is it here? Like, is it at my house now? Did you hide it? I was so excited. Okay. Right. Because I have a song called Shrimp. I do indeed.
Yeah. We had Becky hide a bunch of shrimp in your.
Becky comes out of my closet holding shrimp, but I wouldn't.
It's like a shrimp cocktail. I should have asked this question when you were talking about bangs, but blush. Okay. The makeup you put on your cheeks. Do you call it blush or rouge?
I would say if you're under about 72, you do call it blush. If you call it rouge, then you also use cream rinse and pantyhose.
Oh, okay.
Instead of conditioner and nylons. You know what I mean? I think it's a generational term. Do you disagree, Abby?
No, that is 100% accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Immediately in my head, I was like, who says rouge? Old people.
Yeah, my grandma
I
does.
do.
Yeah.
Man, you do. Okay, cool.
Dumb
men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Put on your rouge and let's go to the Red Lobster.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
so
exactly.
Abby and I grew up in a part of the country where Red Lobster was quote unquote fancy. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
That's where you went for like before prom and shit. That was like
Yeah.
super nice. I didn't know until college. They were like, I remember a specific time with a group of friends. They're like, let's go somewhere nice. And I was like, yeah, let's go to Red Lobster. And they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh, really? Oh, wow. That's so true.
Yeah.
Have you been back? Because I haven't been back.
Of course.
I was going to say, I'm tempted to, I want to go, like, and just, I don't know, whether it's dressed for prom or not, just remember the days when this was like high, like this laminated menu, right?
Yeah.
Was the height of sophistication.
Yeah, rich people town.
Yeah, exactly. It's upward
go.
social mobility, social climbing.
You should go next, like on tour. Just fit it in.
I should.
Definitely.
I should.
Okay, science question. Do you remember this song? Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me?
That's a science question.
No, it's just a weird segue. Welcome to.
Oh, that's so fun. I was like, are you going to recast this as like, that's actually a boron reaction? And okay.
No, it's just, I've had that song stuck in my head for like a week. I'm like making breakfast for my daughter singing that like a weird.
Yeah. Yeah. That's in my head now. Thank you.
Yeah, no, you guys are fucked. Do you take naps?
I am sympathetic to the nap takers. I would be an aspiring nap taker if I could turn my brain off. I think naps sound fantastic. I can't execute. But I admire
with you.
Yeah, I admire.
Envious of people like this lady over here, Bang Town.
Solid napper.
I like a good nap. Like I don't sleep at night is the problem. So if I can catch a couple more hours during the day, technically it's just sleep.
I will say that I do a science podcast, right? And after talking to science researchers, after talking to sleep researchers, I think I have come to better understand the position. It is just sleep. Like the idea that we should have that everybody needs 8 and that it should happen at night and we should do it contiguously is at least in part a cultural construct. It's not the only way to do things. Like people sleep really differently around the world.
Isn't it like an industrial revolution invention? Like, isn't it like 200 years ago we slept in like that? And we just got up when we needed to like check on the cows and
check on do stuff. Yeah, to check on do stuff. Let's go to lobster. No, I think that might be part of it. It was hard to figure out, like, because if you hang out with people right now, they're not living like on the grid and that are living in like, foraging and agrarian societies. It does seem like they sleep mostly at night, but it's like set by when does the sun go down? What is the coldest part of the night? And seasonally, they might have big differences. So they sleep more one part of the season than another. But then if you go back to the historical record in Europe hundreds of years ago, you did find that it was like you do your first sleep, then you get up, you maybe do some work by lamplight, you maybe talk to your spouse, you maybe visit with the neighbors, you maybe have sex, and then you do your second sleep. It was like these two shifts that seems like were widely enough observed that you could expect when you knocked in your neighbor's house that they were also up, because it was the awake bit of the late evening. So what are you writing, Abby?
All kinds of notes.
Why?
I just wrote science behind naps.
What do you do with those notes?
Sometimes they help us write the episode descriptions or social media, or it's things I want to look up later that sounded cool. I don't know.
It's
Cool.
a lot of for me. It's a lot because I'm doing it as well. A lot of this like rain taxi. I'm gonna submit to that.
Sure.
But then
I wrote down Alan Dugan.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wrote
down,
down
and he was in a collared shirt. Mm-hmm.
Rouge. Use that in sentences.
No.
Okay. Devices question. Not a devices question.
I got it.
Do DJs scratch actual records anymore?
I think most of it's Serato now. Yeah. So Serato is a technology where you've got like a kind of like a vinyl plate to which you are linking in MP3 so that you can do all of the manual maneuvers of scratching and fading. But you are doing so essentially with digital files of the music as opposed to records that are pressed in vinyl. So I would say a lot of it is Serato. Are there still DJs that use vinyl? Yeah, absolutely. The last thing you want to say is no and then be stabbed in the neck by a vinyl DJ. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is an Abby question, and she asked it a few weeks ago, and then she went and saw Lyrics Born near her, and she texted me a picture of the DJ, and she's like, he's using vinyl. Yeah,
dope. I was gonna say, I think particularly like if you're, I don't even just old school, but I mean like if you're an established because it is just a lot of money and schlepping. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So if you're Questlove, absolutely, you've got DJ crates with you. You've pulled vinyl selections. But I think if you're just at a club and there's a DJ spinning in a booth that might also take your recommendations that you yell over your second Long Island iced tea, then it's more likely that they're going to be using Serato.
Agreed.
Classy. That's my favorite Red Lobster. Okay, just a couple more questions. Have you ever seen a ghost?
No.
Quick. I like it. Do you want to?
No. But I don't think they're real. Does that mean you're going to hang up on me right away?
No, I agree with you.
Okay.
But you also have a ghost song too. So
I do, but it's a metaphor.
Of course it's a metaphor, but we like to go really on the nose.
Really hard, really literal. Got it.
Yeah. We do. Mm-hmm.
As you can see, they may seem random, but they are tailored towards each guest in a very silly, fun way. I've been asked by my friend Trevor when I told him he lives in Minnesota, and I told him we were getting you on the pod, and everyone rejoiced. And he goes, ask her about, and I have nothing about this. So he goes, ask her about the caves in Minneapolis or Minnesota. Do you know? Can you tell us?
It's such a good question, and I'm so freaking busted because Minnesota has these incredible caves, Crystal Cave, Baba Shop caves, that are acoustically interesting. You can take a tour and also have, I think, an interesting story, in some of the gangster culture of Prohibition era. And I have not been to one, which is a pretty big mark against me, just as a moral agent in the world. So yeah, his question is great. My response is not. What was his name?
His name is Trevor.
Trevor 1, Dessa 0. Mm-hmm.
No judgment. apparently
some
they're turning them into shit now. He's like,
So you know more than okay. Why don't you tell me about the caves in Minnesota?
All right, why don't you host the podcast? I'll do the cave stuff. For Abby's birthday, can you follow us on Instagram? It's
of course, right now it's happening.
Sweet, I love it.
Abby
Everyone else,
Abby hates this.
She secretly loves it. This is also our moment to shoehorn in the promo period. You know, everyone follow Bobby and the Band. Follow Dessa. She doesn't need it. She's super famous and super smart and super intimidating. God damn it. She doesn't believe in ghosts. Man, let me ask you this. This is just a wild question. Have you ever been on dating? Have you been on a date where someone knows who you are?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. That's intimidating. Bam. Nailed it. So I need to learn how to phrase this again, Abby. What musician, live or dead, would you like to bother?
Ooh. In this imagined scenario, do I also have the ability to prepare? So it's not just like right now I'm rushed off to kick it with so and so. It's like I would have the opportunity to really do my research as per your rule. Right?
Yes. And we have a follow-up question. It is what in the same vein as this podcast, what dumb question would you ask this person?
Oh gosh. That makes it more difficult because I think I was initially thinking of I don't know, pretty serious folks that I would want to ask serious questions to.
There are no wrong answers. So whatever.
Okay, but I'm just I guess this is what I'm saying. If I knew that I got to ask some goofy questions, it would affect who I'm trying to kick it with, right? Yeah. So I'd say, Whitney.
Ooh, that's a good one.
But I want to know the dumb shit she did, before she went on stage. I've heard that Mariah Carey eats really greasy potato chips because they help lubricate her vocal cords, which is the same as me eating gummy vitamins for calcium. But I think I'd want to ask about that sort of stuff. Vocalists are such I think there's a weird strand of Wiccan witch vibe sometimes it runs through them. We're just we're so superstitious about voices because it's you wake up one day and it can feel so different and you're a little congested or whatever. You can feel so rusty one day and so good the other, and I don't really even know why. And so I think we're always trying to cast low grade little spells on our voices to get them in good working order for that night. So people eating huge spoonfuls of Trader Joe's garlic or backstage, or our particular teas that are they that different? I don't know, but I definitely travel with throat coat and licorice root and that kind of stuff. And then what? And then you do 3 whiskeys and yell all night by the merch table. Do you know what I mean? So it's not it's not a totally well considered position, but I think we all have those feelings. So I would want to know what she did. What was the weird little things? Did she breathe steam? Does she always have Skittles in her back pockets? What's her weird thing?
I like that.
I like the specificity of Trader Joe's garlic and Skittles. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yesterday we had someone on the pod and they mentioned throat coat as well.
Do they? Yeah. Are you guys gonna get sponsored then?
I hope
Hopefully.
so. I need it right now because I screamed a bunch in New York and my voice is shot.
Oh, okay. Wait. Can I toss the conversational ball back? What would be your top 3 to 5, let's say, sponsors, corporate sponsors? Go. What would they be?
Shit. Throat coat.
Throat coat.
This syrup company from what's his name?
Syrup company from Trey Burt.
Yeah. Another musician was sponsored by a syrup company. So
in real life, he was sponsored by syrup. Oh my god!
Yeah, and so we shouted them out, and they sent us all syrup.
Did they?
Yes.
Is it on the Instagram? Did you take a photo of the syrup?
It's deep. We'll send it to
you. So that would be good.
I said on the Instagram. I'm fired. But okay, so syrup throat coat.
What do you got,
I
Ryan?
gotta go like Levi's or something. Like,
Ooh, that's a good one.
you know,
I'm surprised you didn't say
Mhm.
Sharpie.
Sharpie. I wrote that
Duh.
down. That's one of my notes. It's this episode sponsored by Sharpie.
Yes.
I did have a fan send me Doc Martens. Isn't
That's
that
dope.
wild?
I think that's great.
They're very dope. They're like sick Doc Martens too.
Do they fit you?
They do. They do. He went through some shit to get me them. So
Awesome.
yeah, very
So
well.
Doc Martin, that's a good one too.
I'm trying to, I like the more practical ones, like the T, like the Sharpie, like things we use every day, you know, that to me is like something. Coffee. Honestly, coffee would be my
Oh gosh. All day.
Just Trader Joe's coffee. I would love.
Yeah. I spent like the past 10 years sending flirtatious texts to the Pilot Point pens. I would be sponsored by them and wear a t-shirt for one box of pens. Like, I am so thirsty. I am so thirsty. I would do it for anything, really, you know? Yeah, I love them so much. Them, I like Keep cups. Those little, it's like a little travel cup. It's particularly rad. Throat coat. I threw out my bag really badly last year. What's up, 40s? And Icy Hot. I never knew that worked. Did you know it really works?
Yeah.
Icy Hot is the shit. And I tweeted at them and they tweeted back. I felt very special.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Man.
Oh, very practical
That's a good
stuff.
one.
Yeah, is it? Very sexual.
Yeah.
Very sexual.
Very intimidating. What's that fragrance you're wearing? It's
Yeah, totally.
very pungent.
Oh my God.
I love it. What size shirt do you wear?
Medium.
Okay. We're gonna bother Becky and get you a shirt.
Yes.
You're gonna sponsor us. Something like that. One of the two.
Yes. Okay.
And then what song we close every episode with a song from our guests. What song do you want us to close this episode out with?
Can we close it with my most recent song, which is called Blush?
It's a good song.
Thanks.
Rouge. Yeah, got it.
Oh, okay. Sick burn. Sponsored by Aloe, the sickest burn.
Sponsored by Bic Lighters. Dessa, I'm gonna let Abby close this out, but for me, thank you so much. This has been so much fun, and that's our program. And I'm stumbling here, but my own devices. The book is so great, and your fucking music is great. I'm intimidated. I'm weird. You're the best. Thank you.
For real, thank you. This was we're big fans, so we have wanted you to visit with us for a long time and really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, and let's do it again on a live stage.
You like it when I wear my hair down, but I say that way, it just gets in my eyes. You say that's exactly what you like so much. I think that sums us up sometimes. I'll be your favorite me, mostly carefree, laughs easily, but what you can't see in my routine is how hard it gets to keep the heartbeat clean. I can see the problem clearly. I can see the simple fact is that you like me in theory, and I like you back in practice. I'm alone for you, give you just the good side, save you all the best lines. Sometimes I wish that I was immune to you, could see you and go right by, pull myself away from your high tide. I'll be fine again by morning light. I set a timer to remind myself. Nights are just sentimental for me. Why? Of all of the people on the planet, can't think of anybody else. I know we're supposed to keep it light, but no one can pick their appetite. So I think I'm done up on the tightrope. I want a love that feels like more than just survival. My beauty, my anger, my sadness, all anchored, they're fused to the bone. You can't take some and leave some. I'm this way for a reason. You gotta love it all whole or let it all go. But there's room for two. We could share a flashlight. You and me by a landslide every time. But if it's true that you don't feel so satisfied by it, I won't